ஹலோ சொல்லுங்க மனோஜ். என்னங்க? சொல்.
Manoj? Manoj?
Sir, yes, sir.
My voice is audible now?
Yes, sir, audible, sir. It's audible.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Professor. Are you completed your vacation?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
நாளைக்கு
thank you.
வந்துருவேன்.
நாளைக்கு பார்க்கலாமா?
கண்டிப்பா சார்.
Okay. So kindly wait a few minutes.
எஸ் சார். ஓகே.
Sir, good evening.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
How are you?
Fine, sir, fine.
Sir, shall I start the session, sir?
Sure, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir,
So, good evening to one and all present over here. Respected resource person, my fellow friend, Mr. A. Atif Shah, CEO and founder, AB Semiconductors, and founder of Tech Group. Lot of innovative ideas presented at a lot of institutions. In this juncture, I pleased to welcome for the 5 days FDP. Today is the inauguration session and also what are the AI revolution going on in the present scenario. Warmly welcome, sir, Atif sir.
Thank you, sir.
And also, I warmly welcome all the head of the departments, Dean Academic, and Dr. B. Nathan, School of Computing HOD. This event coordinator, Mr. Manoj Prabhakar, taken a tremendous effort. Nearly 452 participants registered. As of now, 97 participants joined through GMeet and also YouTube Live going on. So all the participants kindly ensure the audio quality and video quality. If anything, default kindly text through the chat box. So now the session handed over to School of Computing Technology, HOD Dr. B. Nathan, give the glimpse about the 5 days FTP. After the completion of the session, Mr. Manoj Kumar shared the feedback to the chat box. Kindly fill the 5 days for the feedback. After completion of the 5 days, collect the certification from the DAIT site. So once again, on behalf of our management and my own behalf, I welcome all the participants, especially my fellow friend, Mr. A. Atif Shah, for this wonderful occasion. Sir, nearly 10 years before, so what are the AI revolution going on in the worldwide? So 2 days before also our Narendra Modi ji participated the AI summit at France. The forthcoming AI summit also hosted by the government of India very soon. So dear participants, kindly utilize this session in a effective manner. Thank you. Jai Hind. Nathan.
thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your introductory and a warm welcome to all the participants and also the chief guest from Danish Ahmed Institute of Technology. In this coming 5 days, you are going to be very wonderful sessions from the AI, which is the School of Computing Technology. We have 5 different courses: artificial intelligence, data science, artificial intelligence, machine learning, computer science and engineering, cyber security, as well as this year we are going to introduce the information technology courses from the Anna University. So in this 5 days faculty program, for the first day, Mr. Atif Shah, founder and CEO, AB Semiconductor Chennai, and day 2 from Dr. B. Vivekanandam, Pro Dean, School of AI Computing and Multimedia, Lincoln University College, Malaysia, and day 3, Dr. J. Laulin Zima, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science, Christ Deemed University, Yeshwanthpur Campus, Bangalore, and day 4, Dr. S. Visalakshi, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Application, Sikkim Manipal University, Gangtok, Sikkim, and final day 5, 16th, Dr. R. Rajeswari, Professor, Computer Science Engineering, and also R&D Head, Sridevi Institute of Engineering and Technology, Karnataka. And this 5 days development program, faculty development programs mainly is related with generative AI, and they are going to give the presentation related with the current trends, tools, research and techniques. Okay, thank you very much. And I will hand over the session to the chief guest and resource person. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Atif sir.
Yes, sir. 2 minutes.
Please.
2 minutes, sir. Share my PPT over here. Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Is my voice is audible, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Audible, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. Very good evening to one and all here, and all the faculty members who have assembled here to learn about the recent techniques on the artificial intelligence, and most importantly, and to be specific with the generative AIs actually. So the session is going to be like running up, not like running a PPT. Instead, right, we'll have some basic concepts of generative AI and how it is to be designed. And we have a lot of models which has to be explored. So we are going to talk about the basic fundamentals of AI, and then how these models are being going to be supported for AI, and then how this AI is going to be converted into a generative AI. So this is how we are going to do it, and with some case studies which has been utilized for a kind of an application to understand what has been done with the help of a generative AI. Because since you are just seeing this generative AI applications in every domain, right from the healthcare to the industrial automations and everything. So we are going to deal about how it can be utilized for a kind of an application, and how it is going to be trained for the data, and how the data's nature is going to be. So these are all the points which we are going to discuss today, and we'll, with the help of some case studies which has to be explored. Right now, let me talk about with the first question. How many of you aware about this artificial intelligence technique? Because this artificial intelligence technique has been utilized widely in a day-to-day affair and day-to-day news. Just we are getting lot of AI-based applications and AI-based newses. So what you understood from the artificial intelligence? I need this session to be more interactive. So please be interactive with me. Actually, what do you mean by this artificial intelligence? Because it is applied in everywhere, every domain, even in communication, language modeling, and everything, right? So can anyone tell me what is exactly is all about this artificial intelligence is about? Can unmute yourself and you can answer what is what. Any answers?
So good evening, sir.
Hi, ma'am. Good evening.
Yeah, it's Deepa from Karpam College of Engineering. I'm from Electronics Department.
Ma'am, your voice is little bit not audible.
Sir, am I audible for you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I'm from Electronics Department. In my point of view, AI is nothing but a technology used to enhance the human knowledge by using a technology. What and all human can do in 1 minute, it will do in a second for me.
Okay. Any other answers? That's fine.
Sir, Anupama here. So artificial intelligence is refers, we are using set of methods or algorithms to develop an intelligent system. So it can perform the task requiring the human-like intelligence. So it is like how the human are performing the same thing, the machine also will perform. It will think, and it will use our language processing system, or it can be an image. So we can use the computer vision. So like that, it is a imitation of human intelligence. We can create the intelligent system in the form of machines.
Okay. So in general, we can say that it is a creation of the intelligence, right? Creation of the intelligence to the machine, correct?
Yes, sir.
Right. So that's fine. Okay. So let me discuss about this. Okay. So we'll move on to the one and by step features, and we'll see what is happening. So let me share it 1 minute. Is my presentation is visible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So the first case is all about this is the base model. What I'm showing right now is the base model for designing any kind of an AI based applications. Is my things are visible actually to everyone?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Yeah, okay, thank you. So the first thing what we come across, what we do normally here is, this is the logic which we have to be taking care. So what we normally start with, so whenever you develop any kind or whenever the human brain needs an intelligence, the first step what we are going to concentrate is about this model. That is your data collection, data model. So whenever you connect with any kind of applications, whenever you connect with healthcare, whenever you connect with communication networks and anything, you need a data to be trained. So the first part, what is the real bottleneck to design AI systems in India is the data. So first we need to concentrate about the data collection and what is the data and how the data is going to be and what are the logics which is going to be taking care. So the first step is a data collection. So what we do, we can have an preliminary example for this. Whenever you just do some kind of an examination preparation, so what we normally do is we just used to study the materials what we have, and the materials will be trained in our brain according to our understandable capability, and from the understanding capability we will produce our results depends upon the questions which is being asked. This is a simple thing. So the same way my machine has to work on. So whenever you need something else, whenever you need the brain, we need to design a brain. But before moving on to the brain, so we need the data to be collected. So the data is more important. So designing a model, nowadays we work on the benchmarks, but here it is not the case. We have to work on the raw data. We have to work on the raw data which is being available. And from the raw data, this raw data is being given to the processing and the meaningful conversions of this, any kind of a meaningful data, and everything can be converted into a kind of a solution. So now the data and then given for a kind of a feature extraction. We call this, for example, when we have the lot of books and notes over here, we used to study only the important questions and everything, not exactly all the syllabus, only the keywords, important questions and diagrams, so that our brain can correlate and make a necessary application. So that is why this is called feature extraction. And from then it is going for an intelligent learning mechanism, and we have to go for a deployment for the taking a decision. So this is a cycle which we have to do for it. So first you just go for AI. When you design an AI, so AI will have the data. So one thing is data is important, and how we train the model or how we train the machine with the help of a model, that has been done with the help of an intelligent learning mechanism. And then from that it is going for the decision box. From that it is going for the decision box which has been taking place. That is what after the deployment, how it is going to be behave depends upon the inputs. Now, so hopefully you can understand this, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now we'll go up over this. Once we talk about this, data collection is important, and this intelligent learning is most important for us because this is the heart, this is the brain for every machines. So now once you want to make it a model, so how the models are being segregated and how we are going to train this model, this is what we are going to see right now. So the first thing, right. So now the model, as we talk about, we have a model design, and then we have inputs that we called as a data collection. And then from the data collection, and then we have to prove the outputs, that is your responses, or it should take a decision. Now, in the case of the generative AI, we have a lot of AI which has been available. So in case of generative AI, this, you need the same thing, data collection, everything is there. You need to have a data collection, put it on the model. Now the model has to give the responses. Has to give the responses. The model has to give the responses in accordance the user inputs. And these user inputs are being called as prompts. are called as a prompt. So this is the logic which we have to make it in clearance. That is the generative AI, there is a same model, the data is to be collected, need to train, but the thing is, it is not going to be take a decision. Instead, it is going to be the giving a responses in accordance to the user inputs. And that user inputs are known to be the prompts. So this is the basic design or basic difference when you design an AI-based system, a normal AI-based system and generative AI-based system. This is the major differences which is happening. So AI-based systems can take a decision. It can take a decision and it can give you the outputs, whatever it want. But in a generative AI, it gives you the responses, whatever the responses, whatever the inputs. It has to understand the input, user inputs. That is we call it as a prompts. And then it has to generate its own responses according to the users. So this is the basic line of difference between the AI-based system and generative AI. Is it clear? Is this clear, everyone? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, is this clear? This is the logic.
Yes, sir. It is very clear, sir.
Yeah, okay. So this is the difference between this and this actually, right? So now, so whenever the model is considered, so whenever the model is considered, so now what are the models which are present here? And we'll have a difference. We'll have a basic difference, these two, right? So these models, we already know about the machine and so machine and the deep learning model. So we already know about these two words, which has been coming across in all our things, actually, machine and deep learning, right? So can anyone tell me like what is it machine and what is deep learning? Any idea about it? Can make a difference between this machine and deep?
Excuse me, sir.
Ha, ma'am.
I am Asina from JCT Engineering College.
Ha, ma'am, please.
Machine means whatever we are given inputs, whatever we are giving function, based on that it's give the output.
Okay.
Machine learning means based on our inputs, it's gather some experience regarding our inputs. Machine learning means it's learning something from our input. It will experience something.
Okay. What is deep learning, ma'am?
Deep learning means it is in-depthly whatever segregate.
If you're comfortable in Tamil, please. No issues.
Deep learning na in-depth அந்த ஃபியூச்சர்ல இதை வச்சு என்னெல்லாம் வரும்னு செக்ரிகேட் பண்ணி லேர்ன் பண்றது.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Right. Good. Thank you. Any other answers?
Deep learning is, as of my understanding, deep learning is we are using some neural networks, kind of our machine, our brain, human brain. So kind of nervous system, we are going to give some artificial nervous system. So through that, we are going to learn deeply or give the ability to the machine to learn deeply. Is it right, sir?
Okay. Fine. Okay. Right, sir. Now, I just tell you the very basic difference, actually. Very simple, actually, right? Machine, you have, it has all been subdivided into based on two categories. One is with help of small data sets. Whenever you use a small data sets, actually, then we move on to this machine learning concepts, actually. Simple, right? And whenever you go for the larger kind of data sets, right? So we need to go for the deep learning logic. Simple. So it all depends upon the data. So it is all depends upon how we prepare for an examination with a huge data, right? So when we prepare for a smaller smaller test and something else, our preparation will be different because we are dealing with only with a small group of data. But whenever we are dealing with something on the different examination or a competitive examination, the data sets is so high, and so what we have, like, our methodology will be so different. So we normally go for a deep learning. So and moreover, the deep learning has its own advantages. That is, the deep learning structures will not have to have a separate feature extraction. What I told you, it can have the inbuilt feature extraction module. But whereas in the machine learning concept, it needs to have the machine learning concept. The feature extraction is to be present exactly along with the machine learning, but it is integrated. In the deep learning, it is integrated. So basic thing is, in deep learning, whenever you have a large kind of data sets to be processed, and you need better accuracy, because when the data are keep on increasing, the number of brain usage is also increasing as per your things. And so we need to go for a deep learning. And whenever you go for the machine learning concepts, actually, this is something like we deal with the small data sets. So clear? Simple difference. Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So now, what are the models which we are present? Because in generative AI, we are majorly concentrating about these large number of data set, massive data sets actually. So we are going to have this deep learning model as the cases, and moreover, for the better performances and everything, we will integrate this deep learning along with some kind of a shallow classifiers. That is, we called as the machine learning model. So the logic which comes across here is we'll have one by one. Hopefully all of you know about this model. Maybe a typo error. Whenever it deals with a video, whenever it deals with a vision system and everything, this CNN will play a vital role right now. Actually, the CNN will play a vital role for this actually, right? So the CNN has its own application to deal with all your video and images and everything. So now it has its own model that we called as pre-trained models. It's variant actually. So the variants are present. So pre-trained models are present. And we have a lot of models which is there. VGG 16 and everything has been present over here, right? So now when you deal with the text, now we have to move on to this application, right? So now this generative AI, right, is the generative AI which has been dealing with this. So is, as I told you, like, it is primarily based on the prompts. Is basically prompts. So prompts can be anything. It can be an image, it can be a video, it can be a text. Nowadays we work on the text. So for the textual structures, right? So textual structures, the base model which comes into the picture here is this is one. So recurrent neural networks actually. So the recurrent neural networks comes into the picture, and from the recurrent neural networks, it has been giving to we have its own drawback in the RNN. Why? Because it cannot handle the long sequence of data. So long sequence of data will be failed to store in the recurrent neural network, so that it can miss it out for an application. So the logic which has been happening, the logic which is to be happening here is, since it's an example, whenever we just go for any kind of a provisional shop to buy something else in the childhood days, we used to memorize the things which is given from the home. So we will be memorizing each and every time. And when we go there, we will be forgetting everything, because when the things are so large and large in number, actually. So what happens here is, when you give a long sequence of data over here, the long sequence of data may vanish or may be lost. So the RNN cannot be utilized right now for the long sequence of data. So for this kind of an application, we are just moving on to the next level, that is called long short-term memory. As the name itself indicates, so it has its own memory which is over here. It has its own memory which has been inserted. So it's something like writing all the things in a paper and just going for the shop. So something like, so input memory. So writing in the paper is considered to be the memory, and then output. Simple. The long short-term memory. Again, when the memories, as the long sequence of data, large number of data sets keep on increasing, the structure will also increase. the structure will also increase. And to reduce that structure, we are moving on to the gated recurrent units. So gated recurrent units will be transmitted. So gated recurrent units, it is utilized to the reducing the complexity. It is used to reduce the complexity of the model. It is used to reduce the complexity of the model. Now, all these things, like we have a lot of problems with this. The major problem which is coming across in LSTM, gated recurrent units, and all these recurrent neural networks is something we called as vanishing problem and the vanishing gradient problem. And that vanishing gradient problem may happens on this model, which may lose some of the data and in which it cannot able to understand what the user is talking about. So this is the logic, right? So what happens is, let us take an example. If a teacher teaches in the classroom and the student want to grasp everything what the teacher has explained, what the student should do, whether he should write it continuously or store it in continuously, what he has to do actually. Is the question is clear? So we talked about the problem.
Yes,
That
sir.
is the problem is when you give long data, long sequence of data, these models can able to forget about it. Very simple word, forget everything. So the data may be lost. So the user's input could not be understood by the model to explain it. So this is the logic which we have to take care in the mechanism. Now, the things which has been coming across here is in order to make the sequences to be understood by the cases, it has to be understood by the cases over here. I told you an example when the teacher teaches in the classroom. So what the student should do to grasp everything what has been taught in the class. So what the student should do. So we are also the students, right?
We'll make a note of it, sir.
Note of it. How? How we are making note of it, and how we are saying that whatever the things which has been taught in the classroom is being taken a notes. How it has been possible until or otherwise? He or she should be so attentive to the class. Attentive, that is, you should not miss any diversion, or he or she should focus on what is being taught in the classroom, correct? So he or she should be so attentive. So here, based on that ideology, so we are building up the new model that is called the transformer models. It's primarily based on your attention networks. And this has been overcome by all the whatever the things which has been taking place, whatever the drawback which we talked about can be replaced with the help of the transformer models. And transformer models are being constructed with the help of the different categories of the attention networks. Hopefully you can see what will be the advantage of the attention networks, right? Hello.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes, sir.
Attention networks pays each and everything on your board, actually each and everything on the board, and it understands the logic. And primarily for producing a query and producing a responses, that is different. So the words which is being given from the user side, the attention networks understands each and everything without any losses, right? So it's just too technical when you have a layer normalization, batch normalization, and softmax. It's too technical. Let me have this basic outline. So the attention networks plays an important cases over here. Actually, the attention network plays an important role over here. And with the help of these attention networks, we are being designing with a new concept called transformers. So the transformers, the transformers have is we have vision transformers. Vision transformers for all your understanding your visions. Nowadays, these plays an important role whenever you have blurred image to be taken care, and it can be converted into high resolution images. Everything is possible with this vision transformers. This vision transformers is completely meant for understanding your images and your videos, right? And the thing is, when you have the same thing for understanding the text and everything, we can start with a thing called BERT model, that is a pre-trained model, or we can say LLM, that is your large language models. So it is a large language models which is occupying the major share, and for the large language model, the transformer is a heart. So the transformer is heart. Whenever you work on OpenAI, ChatGPTs, Llama, and everything, and nowadays the DeepSeek has its own model which has been running on our own system, and that is primarily considered with this LLM models, large language models, where the transformer is considered to be the heart, and the transformer's heart is again your attention networks. So clear up to now?
Yes, sir.
Hello? Yeah?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So now, how do we generate this? How do we generate it? And before moving on to this, how to make it a generate? So these some of the models, and we have all the models which has been there since we talk about the responses from the inputs. So images, we talked about the vision, transformers, and everything. For LLM, we have a lot of pre-trained models which is available, and you can use it. But whenever you want to work from the scratch, you should be very strong with the transformer architecture, with the encoder decoder structure, and the different kind of an attention networks that can be imparted to give the better performances, right? So you can have this. These are the things which you can use as an open access, where you can utilize for any kind of an application. Pre-trained models, this are pre-trained models which are available, where you can use it for generating any kind of responses and everything, right? So this is the logic. So OpenAI, API, Llama, Meta, BERT, T5, you have a lot of models, and we have GPT structures, everything. So these are all the pre-trained models which we have to do. Now these model, how to deploy these models for an application. This is what we are going to have a case study, right? So how do we deploy this model? We saw this is the model. So you need an input that we call prompts, and output is going to be a responses. So how these models are going to play, and how it is going to be deployed for an application, right? Up to now, it's clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sure, thank you. So now I'll share one video for you, actually. Yeah, now. Can you see the video?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So what is this video is all about? You know about this video, right? Right? So you would have seen this movie, actually. I'll explain you how this generative works, actually. So these are the models, right? So this is a film, the film from, you know, about this Indiran, actually, right? So now we'll move on to this. Have a look at this, and we'll talk about how this generative AI is this going to be working over here. And this is the most important scene, that it's not meant for like it is being used with generative AI, but still, this is something which you can understand how it works, right? I just play the video. Is the voices audible? And
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
and please watch this. We'll have a questions for you. The conversation.
dropping pulse rate, blood loss, இருக்கிற எல்லா காம்ப்ளிகேஷன்ஸ் இருக்கு. யாராவது ஒருத்தர் உயிரை காப்பாத்துறதே கஷ்டம். ஐயோ, கல்யாணம் ஆன புதுசுலயே அவங்க ஹஸ்பண்ட் மிலிட்டரியில செத்துட்டாரு. இந்த குழந்தைக்காக தான் உயிரோடவே இருக்காங்க. ப்ளீஸ், எப்படியாவது 2 பேரையும் காப்பாத்துங்க. நான் முயற்சி பண்ணதான் முடியும் சொன்னா. அதுக்கு மேல எல்லாம் நான் ட்ரை பண்ணட்டா. நீங்க யாரு? டாக்டரா? இல்ல, ஐ அம் சிட்டி, தி ரோபோட். ரோபோட்டா? சிட்டி இது உன்னால முடியுமா? வை நாட்? சாரி, எங்களால இதை அனுமதிக்க முடியாது. இது லேப் இல்ல, லேபர் வார்ட். 2 உயிர் அண்டர் டோட்டல் ரிஸ்க். இவ்ளோ எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் இருக்கிற எங்களுக்கே திஸ் இஸ் நைட்மேர். என்னால முடியும். சனாவோட எக்ஸாம்ஸ்க்கு நான் படிச்சிருக்கேன். சனாவால இது பண்ண முடியாது. சிசேரியன் பண்ண யூ நீட் குவாலிஃபிகேஷன் அண்ட் எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ். It's against the medical law.
சிசேரியன் தேவையில்லை. என்னால நார்மல் டெலிவரி பண்ண முடியும்.
எப்படி முடியும்? ரெண்டு பேரும் செத்துவாங்க. She's bleeding.
பிளாஸ்மா டிரான்ஸ்ஃபியூஷன் பண்ணலாம்.
Blood pressure ஜாஸ்தியா இருக்கு. எந்த நேரத்திலும் ஃபிக்ஸ் வரும்.
மேக்ஸிமம் ரெஜிமெண்ட் கொடுக்கலாம்.
Pelvic disproportion. Normal delivery possible இல்ல.
பாசிபிள். சிம்பியாஸ்டமி பண்ணலாம். பழைய கால பிரசவம் பண்ணலாம். இடுப்பு எலும்பை வேலைக்கு பண்றது.
Right. So can you elaborate what is this scene is all about?
Various possibilities put forwarded by our robotic science
Yeah, I'll just
after
give you an
learning.
I'll just give you an example. No, sorry. Now there is a conversation, right? There was a conversation.
ஐயோ. கல்யாணம்
டாக்டர் நான் படிச்சேன்.
This, so what happens is, first you have to understand the chitty is taking a decision to take the robotic or operations, right? But now how it takes it, because it has been fed up, it has been feeded with all the data sets whichever is being studied for her examination. You would have remembered the scene. I'll just tell you, right? There was a scene where the chitty reads all the books which is relevant to the Sana's examination. So in that scene, they will be highlighting about the pregnancies, right? So now the logic which comes into the picture here is, this database is being stored or it is being made in the brain of a chitty, right? Now this is it's clear up to now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now just understand the things.
cesarean பண்ண you need qualification and experience. It's against the medical law.
சிசேரியன் தேவை.
Now there is a word called cesarean, and my machine understands this, and the cesarean is known to be the prompt, right? So it is known to be the prompt, and this machine understands that this cesarean, and it checks with the database. It has all the data, right? It has not only these books, it has some music, it has some art and everything. So my model has to understand this is a cesarean, and it has to search for the particular data which is stored in my knowledge base, right? So what happens here is,
என்னால நார்மல் டெலிவரி பண்ண முடியும்.
எப்படி முடியும்?
and takes the data and fetches into the application responses.
Blood pressure ஜாஸ்தியா இருக்கு. எந்த நேரத்திலும் ஃபிக்ஸ் வரும்.
மேக்ஸிமம் ரெஜிமெண்ட் கொடுக்கலாம்.
Pelvic disproportion. Normal delivery possible இல்ல.
பாசிபிள். சிம்பியாஸ்டமி பண்ணலாம். பழைய கால பிரசவம் பண்ணலாம். இடுப்பு எலும்பை வேலைக்கு பண்றது.
Now the different prompts which been generated by the doctor is understood by the machine, and it fetches the data and presents it according to the understandable way that the doctor can understand. Simple, right? So here it is not fetching like as if it has been studied, right? It is been studying in the differently in the different books. Actually, it is not presenting as if it is present in the book. It presents in a such a way that it has been understood by the user or whoever is requested. Just check that the data is stored. Yeah, now you can see here the data are stored like this. You can see here the data are stored like this, but in a presentable, when the chitty talks and when chitty replies back, it is in an understandable manner. That is, it talks in the same thing which the user inputs. So this is the logic of a generative AI. Now we'll just draw the diagram, draw the architectural diagram of a generative AI with the GPTs or with the model what I talked about with this respective to this scene, right? So clear? Hello?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir. Very clear. Yes.
Yeah. Now I just draw this basic model, how this with respect to this scene, how the model works and how the internal architecture works. Now, let me share this. Oh, sorry. Can you see this board actually? Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now let us take this. So the first thing we'll talk about the normal delivery. And we have cesarean, everything. So there'll be a typo error, right? So what happens here is these words, right? These words has to be understood, right? These are called as a prompts, right? These words has to be understood. So now for understandable capability, we are moving on to this model. That is, either you can use a pre-trained model, which is there, right? And a pre-trained model to understand everything. Now, what happens is, in order to have the better understandability of each and every word, this is where we call it as a prompt engineering, right? So this is most important. This is we called as a prompt engineering. So to understand the word, these pre-trained models are being combined with some of the prompts technique called RAG or COTS or DSPs. So these are all the mechanism which has been there, and this RAG has been integrated in DeepSeek actually. So the RAG's versions, we have different versions which has been integrated to understand these words, because it should not understand, because here you can have a Caesarian and there may be some word called Julius Caesar. So two words are having the same thing, so my machine should not able to make a similar understandability of this thing. So in order to make it very clear about this logic actually, so the mechanism which we have to understand over mechanism which we have to take care about this logic here is, so the RAGs and CODs and DSPs, these are the prompts technique, has to be combined with this pre-trained model so that it can give you the precise prompts so that the pre-trained model can understand. So this pre-trained model has to be integrated with my knowledge databases. This is where we call it as a datas. So knowledge databases has to be integrated with that. So from the knowledge databases, it has to fetch, it has to generate the responses, and that has to be also converted into the user level, right? We can say that is user level. So create the responses. So again, here another model comes into the picture, and it presents in such a way for the user model. So this is how your thing. So this is the deployment where we deploy. There we have to understand it has been deployed in the machine, right? So these words has to be understood clearly, and we can have this kind of technique, pre-trained models and everything, and put it with extracted with the knowledge databases. So pre-trained model has to train with the data, right? So since with the RAG, it has to make it, there is a normal delivery. So now this normal delivery has to be understood, whether it is whether it is for a childbirth or for a food, whatever the cases, it has to make a clear differences. So for that application, we are using this kind of prompt engineering and along with the pre-trained model. So the pre-trained model, what I talked about is these models, right? These models can be utilized over here, and from these models actually, and you can generate your own responses and present it in the user level. Nowadays, like DeepSeek, which we are having better options, you may aware about all these things, right? So DeepSeek models, which has been coming across here. So now these models require the external configuration, such as the cloud or GPUs and everything. But what is the major advantage of DeepSeek versus these models is DeepSeek can run on our own machine. So it doesn't require any kind of a large number of resources, which is being taking place by the other models. So the DeepSeek will consume only the less models, which is having a very less model actually. And from this not a very less model, it consists of very optimized model, so that from the optimized model, it can able to understand the things which is required. So the difference between these and this is it can run on your local machine. So DeepSeek can run on the local machines, but with the help of tools, it may be complicated. So, but still, if you can succeed, you can make a DeepSeek in your own system and see what is happening. So this is the difference between the other models which is present in the market versus the DeepSeek model. So now you can use it, all these things to be replaced with the help of the DeepSeek models also. So DeepSeek models can replace these pre-trained models, so that this knowledge databases and everything can be taken care into an application. So this is the mechanism which we have to take care. This is the mechanism which we have to take care for developing a system actually. So I told you like why this is most important. Why this is most important? Because there is a complexity. This word can refers to anything else. So my system needs that kind of a system which can able to do this. So this is the cycle of developing a generative AI for any kind of an application. So provided you need a lot of knowledge databases, and provided to work on this and the pre-trained model. So pre-trained model, two options. One is on this and second is DeepSeek. But when you work on these kind of models, when there is a large number of data sets, you need external machines to deploy it or external cloud to deploy it. But DeepSeek, even though the large data sets, nearly like 80 billion tokens are available, it can run on the local machines, right? It can run on the local machines to see what is happening. So this is the scenario of the generative AI, how to develop a generative AI based system. So the complexity lies here. This is the logic. The complexity lies here. So, and this complexity can be overcome by this. Whenever you show the images, and generation of images and videos and everything, so that is different. So now that for this cases, we are using another method that is called VLM, that is visual language models, right? So that is large language model. And for kind of a transformer, vision transformers now are converted into VLMs. VLMs is your vision language models, right? Right. So it is a vision language models. It is a vision language models. And these models can be utilized to access your images and videos and everything, right? So this for the videos into a responses conversion, everything can be done with the help of this kind of application. So this kind of application. So what in the hybrid model, what we are right now we are doing is combining with VLM with LLMs. So these two things are being combined to form to operate any kind of inputs from the user kind of output. So user kind of inputs, right? So this can be done with the help of this logic. So this is the cases. Whenever you do this, this is the cases. So this is all the logic which is being taking place over the generative AI. And when you find it application, it is finding out, as I told you, it has been finding its application, its own application in every domain. So it is not limited to only to the chatbot design, right? It has been applied with help of a chatbot. It can be applied to any kind of a domain. Similarly, we call this AI agents. So this is the logic, right? So this is the word which we are talking about in today's scenario, that is AI agents, where we can replace these human assistants with the help of the AI applications. So this is AI agents, which it all things plays into a vital role with the help of a generative AI solutions. So so the generative AI can be nowadays it is being utilized for this kind of application, particularly in all the industries, and starting from the inching from the small scale to the large scale, very large scale also. So this is the scenario, but the real challenge what we have is how to develop this knowledge databases for each and everything. So that is the logic which we have to come across. See how this knowledge database can be developed and how this knowledge database can be developed for a particular model, for a particular application. That remains a very big bottleneck for our mechanism, right? So, and moreover, pre-trained models, you can have the open API, and APIs are open, so you can do the pre-trained model for an application. But when you go for a large number of data, the costings increases, the infrastructure increases. So the costings remains to be the real headache for implementing an effective and pakka generative AI environment. So in order to overcome that only, everyone is now migrating for the DeepSeek. So DeepSeek is utilized for a kind of applications and how it has been applied. So we have started right now with the DeepSeek. Hopefully on the forthcoming schedules, like we can more explore on DeepSeek models and how these DeepSeek models can replace these kind of models over here. So that I can make it out with the forthcoming sessions over here. So this is all about the generative AI application. So we started from what is what, and we talked about the models, basic difference between machine and deep, and how this generative AI can be utilized, the pre-trained models what we have, and for the images and video what we have. So what will be the bottleneck and what is the real challenge to implement the generative AI infrastructure in any environment? What is the real drawback? So this is all we have discussed right now. And in the cases like this is a basic level of understanding your generative AI, in which it consists of lot of steps which is being to be followed for achieving the better solution. So this is the logic which we have to clear and which we have to do the mechanism. So this is the logic which we have to take care. So hopefully everyone can understand the basic level of the generative AI. What is it and what is it the core of generative AI and where it is applied for? So clear?
Yes, sir. Clear. Yes, sir.
Right. So whenever you want to start with this kind of generative AI, so go for any kind of like this pre-trained models, work on with the pre-trained models, and then you can, after doing it, you can start from the scratch, right? So I don't want to make you more techie wise. I just covered with the basic levels. If any doubts is there and queries there, please. Any doubts, queries?
Please put the questions to the message box also. Can
It shows everyone has understood.
yes, the question is what are the difference between generative AI and the responsive AI, sir? That is a question from Soundarya Subramaniam.
Okay, so what is that? Right. So generative AI, as I told you here, in this case, actually, so here it generates your queries or generates the mechanism according to fetch the data on your database. Responsive, converting your data into the applications according to the users. Hope you can understand this too. That is learning in such a manner, taking the data, generating the data is generative AI, right? And creating the responses according to kind of an application, right? This can be done with the help of your responsive AI. It's clear, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Clear, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. The examples what we talked about is the movie what I showed you, the particular scene. You can take that as an example. Whatever that example gives you the clear picture.
So any doubts from audience, faculty members? So thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for supporting for the institution as well as for me.
And I have some doubt actually, sir. Sorry, sir. I have the audio prompts, right? For the audio prompts, we have a learning model called word to vector, or not a word to vector. Yes, the model which has been utilized over here, and where you can convert your all your audio prompts into the text words, right? That is possible. Okay, so when you have a large number of data, sorry, wave to vector library or wave to vector learning framework, I just make it over here in the chart, wave to vector. You can see this. So wave to vector, this is a new learning framework which converts your audio prompts into your corresponding text, right? So that has been converted, and from that you can able to understand the solution, right? So with that you can able to give the audio prompts also. So clear, ma'am? Hello. Yeah.
Dharnika, ma'am. Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Manoj Prabhakar.
Yes, sir.
Kindly share the feedback link.
Okay, sir. I will share now.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you all for your patience by this time after your long hours
yes,
of
sir.
working.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Very simply, you are telling all the tools, and this is a very good, fantastic presentation to the faculty members. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, sir. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you. Manoj? Nathan sir?
feedback share பண்ணிடுவாங்க சார்.
Feedback share பண்ணுங்க.
Sir, 1 second, sir. I will share now, sir.
Okay. Carry on.
அந்த குரூப்லயும் கொஞ்சம் ஷேர் பண்ணிடுங்க.
Sir, this page is not responding, sir.
Manoj sir?
Yes.
The page is not responding சொல்லிருக்காங்க. கொஞ்சம்
1 second, sir. No, sir, it's responding, sir.
responding.
Yes, sir, it is responding. Yeah.
Hello.
Sir, feedback form, kindly send me once again, sir. Since because I just opened the feedback form. Once I clicked on the feedback form, it went to my personal mail ID. So I just tried to convert it from official mail ID where I registered. So by the time
I'll share again, ma'am.
it went off. So I kindly need that feedback form again, sir.
Okay, ma'am. We'll share now. Once again.
Manoj Prabhakar? Hello.
Yes, sir.
நம்ம என்ன ஃபீட்பேக் லிங்க்லாம் அனுப்பிச்சு விட்டதுனால நம்ம வந்து வெளியில வந்துடலாமா? டிஸ்கனெக்ட் பண்ணிக்கிறீங்களா?
எல்லாம் ஃபில் பண்ணி ஃபீட்பேக் சப்மிட் பண்ணியாச்சுன்னா போதும் சார், அவ்வளவுதான் சார். லெஃப்ட் ஆயிக்கலாம்.
லெஃப்ட் ஆயிக்கலாம் இல்லைங்களா? ஓகே.
ஆமா சார், ஃபீட்பேக் ஃபில் பண்ணி மோஸ்ட்லி எல்லாம் ஃபில் பண்ணிட்டாங்க சார், ரெஸ்பான்ஸ் பண்ணிட்டே இருக்கு.
ரெஸ்பான்ஸ் பண்ணிட்டே இருக்கீங்க. இது வரைக்கும் எத்தனை ரெஸ்பான்ஸ் வந்திருக்கு மனோஜ்? இந்த காலேஜ் தான் இருக்கீங்களா?
காலேஜ் தான் சார் இருக்கேன். 90 கிட்ட வந்துருச்சு சார் ரெஸ்பான்ஸ். பண்ணிட்டு தான் இருக்காங்க சார். அப்புறம் யூடியூப்ல கொஞ்சம் அட்டென்ட் பண்ணாங்க பார்ட்டிசிபென்ட்ஸ், அதுல பண்ணிட்டு.
அது 14 பேர் 15 பேர் பண்ணியிருப்பாங்க உங்களுக்கு இல்ல?
இல்ல சார், யூடியூப்லங்க சார். யூடியூப்ல 20 கிட்ட பண்ணாங்க சார்.
20 கிட்ட பண்ணாங்க.
20 பண்ணாங்க சார். ஹையஸ்ட் கவுண்ட் 20.
ஹையஸ்ட் கவுண்ட் 20 இல்லைங்களா?
ஆமா சார், 20 சார். ஆமா சார்.
இப்போ வந்து நம்ம இன்னையில இருந்து நம்ம அதை கவுண்ட் பண்ணிக்க வேண்டியது இல்லையா? நம்ம சர்டிபிகேட் 5 days அட்டெண்ட் பண்ண மாதிரி தானே கொடுப்போம். இது மாதிரி இது கிடையாது இல்ல?
ஆமாங்க சார், 5 days அட்டெண்ட் பண்ண வந்து கொடுப்போம் சார். சண்டேக்கு மட்டும் கொடுப்போம்.
ஓகே. எப்போதுமே வந்து இப்போ 5 நாளும் நம்ம வந்து காலேஜில் தான் உட்காந்துக்கிட்டு நம்ம பண்ண வேண்டியிருக்குமா மனோஜ்? எப்படி இது?
இந்த வரேன் சார், உங்களுக்கு காலில் வந்து சொல்கிறேன் சார், ஃபோன் பண்ணுறேன் சார்.
ஓகே ஓகே ரைட். அப்புறம் சரிங்க மனோஜ், ஓகே தேங்க்ஸ்.